Imagine a football match with no offside rule, no flag, no VAR, no millimeter lines, just 11 players against 11 players, and absolutely nothing stopping anyone from standing directly in front of the goalkeeper and waiting. That is what football looked like before someone did something about it. And the story of why they did is stranger, funnier, and more important than anyone gives it credit for. Go back to 1863. Football is brand new. The Football Association has just been formed. The rules are being written for the first time, and one problem is immediately obvious. If there are no restrictions on where you can stand, the most logical thing to do is plant yourself 6 yards from the opposition goal and wait. They called it goal hanging, and the men writing the rules, mostly Cambridge-educated Victorian gentlemen who believed football should test athleticism and courage, found it morally offensive. Standing near a goalkeeper doing nothing was considered ungentlemanly, the kind of thing a man of character simply would not do, so they invented offside. The original rule, 1863. If fewer than 3 opponents stood between you and the goal, you were offside. 3 players, including the goalkeeper. So in practice, the goalkeeper plus 2 defenders. For 60 years, the 3-player rule held. Then one man nearly destroyed football. His name was Bill McCracken, fullback, Newcastle United. Around 1907, McCracken realized something nobody else had grasped. If the rule required 3 players between the attacker and the goal, all a defender had to do was step forward at exactly the right moment. The attacker is suddenly offside. Play stops. The attack is dead. McCracken turned this into an art form. Other clubs noticed, other clubs copied, and within a decade, football became almost unwatchable. Matches stopped every 2 minutes. Crowds groaned, goals dried up. By the 1924-25 season, games were averaging fewer than 2.5 goals. Newcastle alone were whistled offside 40 or 50 times in a single match on some occasions. Something had to change. In 1925, the Football Association changed the rule. 3 players became 2. Now only 2 opponents, including the goalkeeper, needed to be between the attacker and the goal. In practice, just 1 outfield defender. It sounds like a small tweak. It was not. Goals per game jumped from 2.5 to 3.5. Entire defensive systems collapsed overnight. Everton scored 102 goals in a single season. Middlesbrough conceded 122. The game went from defensive war to something resembling organized chaos. And into this chaos stepped Herbert Chapman, Arsenal manager, one of the greatest tactical minds football had ever seen. Chapman pulled the center halfback into central defense, creating what became the WM formation, and rebuilt Arsenal's entire structure around the new reality. Arsenal won the First Division 5 times in 8 years. The WM formation spread across football. The game was transformed. All because of a rule change. All because one fullback from Newcastle kept stepping forward at the wrong moment. The rule has evolved since. Today, just the goalkeeper alone between you and the goal is enough to be onside. And VAR has changed how offside is called entirely. No longer a linesman's raised flag. Now, millimeter measurements. A virtual line drawn across a frozen frame. A shoulder onside. An armpit offside. A goal disallowed by a margin thinner than a human hair. But here is the thing worth remembering. Every time you watch a VAR offside decision, every time the crowd falls silent waiting for the screen, you are watching the direct descendant of a rule written in 1863 by Victorian gentlemen who thought standing near a goal was something a person of good character would not do. McCracken broke the rule so thoroughly they had to rewrite it. Chapman turned the rewritten rule into the foundation of modern tactics, and technology is still trying to figure out exactly where the line is. Offside was invented to stop goal hanging. It nearly strangled the game. Then it accidentally transformed it. That is football. The solution always creates the next problem, and somehow the game gets better anyway.